How I feel? Left. What I want?
Get back slow. I love the way she rock the hips. I love the way she move it, shake it on me. When she pop her hips, the shawty is the winner. You can tell that shawty's no beginner. She's confident. I love the way she move it.
YouTube, what's going on? It's Juan Gotti here with another Washington Commanders video, and in today's video, I'm coming on here with the video where we're going to be talking about the Washington Commanders losing to the Chicago Bears could have potentially been a blessing in disguise for us. Let's talk about it. So, without further ado, let's get straight into today's video. But before we do, make sure you guys go down below, leave a like on this video, subscribe if you're new, and turn on post notifications. We're on the road to 7,000 subscribers, so please hit that subscribe button again if you haven't already. Thank you so much. Let's get straight to it. So, in the time of darkness, okay, that we're in, I often try to be the light. You know, after I cool down, after I get over my frustration, I try to come back level-headed and give you guys some type of positivity because we need it, okay? We need it because clearly the coaching staff, this team isn't giving us the positive that we want. So, I'm going to try to do it, okay? So, Juan, what do you mean? Why was that Chicago Bears potentially a blessing in disguise for Washington, okay? Hear me out. Leave your opinions down below in the comment section. The reason why I potentially say that, because I'm not 100% sure, but I kind of feel this way, is one. First reason why I feel like it's a blessing in disguise is this allowed Josh Hurst and Magic Johnson to get a clear look at Ron Rivera is not the guy, okay? They're going to move on from Ron Rivera. It's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. That is happening at the end of the season, okay? Now, if this season continues to spiral out of craziness, like if it just keeps going downward, they could potentially move on from end season, but I don't think that's going to happen. I think they're going to move on from him after the season. So I feel like that's the blessing in disguise. Number one is that they figured out that he's not the guy, and we didn't have to continue to go on week in and week out and think, hey, is Ron the guy? You know what I'm saying? I know most of us, like myself, would have rather Ron just be good enough to, and we're winning, and he'd be here and we're still winning. But the blessing in disguise about that is it's still early. That's number two, okay? Number two, it's still super early, y'all. I understand that loss was terrible. It was horrible. You cannot lose like that to Chicago Bears, winless Chicago Bears at home. But we're 2-3. And it's early, okay? It's still early. It's week 6, okay? Week 6. And our schedule, you look at our upcoming schedule, we have 2 very winnable games. Now, I know a lot of y'all like, one, I don't even, if we can't beat the Bears, how the heck are we going to beat the Falcons, okay? First of all, let's start there. The Atlanta Falcons got a really good win yesterday versus the Houston Texans. Desmond Ridder played his best game as a pro. That's apparent, okay? But I still think they're very beatable. The Texans is a young team, and I don't think they have the defense that we have. Now, I understand our defense is trash, but I feel like they're going to respond, okay? After these 10 days off, they're going to respond. I don't think Jack Del Rio is a good defensive coordinator still, but I think they're going to respond, okay? Versus Atlanta Falcons team that is playing good ball, but it's very vulnerable. Now, I like that Falcons defense, but I think if we can, our offense isn't my concern. My only concern with the offense would be EB's consistency and getting my playmakers the ball, but Sam Howell, don't have no concerns about him versus the Falcons. But that's the next thing, is that it's early, and the upcoming games that we have are very winnable. You look at our schedule, we got the Falcons, winnable game. Got the Giants, they're horrible. That's a winnable game. Whether you want to believe it or not, that Philadelphia Eagles game is winnable. To this point, we've gave the Philadelphia Eagles their hardest competition. Let's keep it up. Then after that, you got the Patriots, and then that I feel like the very first hard game is versus Seattle in Seattle. But we know we have success there at Seattle, but I feel like the very first hard game that you kind of would scratch your head again at is the Seattle Seahawks. Now, again, I know it's hard. It's gonna be hard for me to try to put this video out because I know a lot of y'all will not agree because y'all like, Juan, man, we just came off the loss of the Bears. How do you expect for us to be? And I agree. I understand where you're coming from, but me kind of always trying to be the constant optimist after I get over my frustration with the team. I don't think they'll ever be that bad again. Like, I don't see it. Now, I know we said that about the Bills loss, but just something after this just tells me that, like, sometimes if there is a spark to happen, because you know Ron Rivera is always going on these 4-game, 5-game heaters. If it is to happen, it's going to happen right now. starting with the Falcons, because if it doesn't start with the Falcons, when is it going to start? Your schedule only gets harder after these 3 games, after the Falcons, Giants, and Eagles game, and the Patriots. That's 4. Your schedule gets harder because then you got to play Seattle at Seattle. You come home and you play the Giants, and you got Dallas, Miami, and then you got the Rams. So your schedule kind of heats up after this stretch right here. So I think if there is an opportunity for Washington to climb back out of this hole that they're in, it starts week 6 versus the Falcons. Now, if we lose versus the Falcons, all right, A1, ain't no more optimism coming up out of this, okay? But if we win, we're now back even. And then you look at it like this, okay? Next point. Dallas Cowboys lost yesterday on Sunday Night Football, gotten totally embarrassed by the San Francisco 49ers. Now, I knew they were going to lose, but I didn't think it was going to be like that. They're in shambles. And if you went to my early preseason predictions about this season, I said I think Washington and Dallas is going to play for one of those wild card spots week 18 at Washington. One of them going to play for one of the wild card spots, because I didn't think neither one of us to finish the win a division, and clearly we're not going to win a division. Philly's 5-0. Okay, at some point I think Philly is going to lose a game, but they're 5-0, okay? They are going to beat the Jets, more likely than not. They're going to be 6-0. At some point, Philly's going to run so far away with this division that nobody's going to catch them, unless they hit a slump, which I don't know if that's going to happen. But they're going to be so far ahead that we're not even worried about the division. Right now, I'm not even worried about the division. If anything, I'm worried about these wild card standings, okay? And I know it's still super early to even be worried about that, but that's where my focus would be. And Dallas lost yesterday, so I'm worried about catching Dallas one time at a time, okay? I'm not worried about catching Philadelphia. Why would I be worried about Philly if they're not worried about us, okay? And I'm not saying Dallas is worried about us, but that's the more reasonable team to catch. They're 3-2, we're 2-3. We go on the road, we beat Atlanta, they lose next week. Versus the team that they play. I actually don't know who they play at the current moment, but if they lose next week versus the team that they play, then we're right there back in second place. So again, I understand the loss was horrible. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to defend it at all, because I'm totally upset about it myself. But the season's not over, is essentially what I'm trying to say. And this was a blessing in disguise, potentially, because it allowed us to see that Ron Rivera's clearly not the guy. He's going to be gone. A lot of y'all wanted that to happen, so y'all going to get that. Then, 2, it happened so early this season where it's still 12 games left and we could turn this thing around. So, for all intents and purposes, we could still very well win enough games to get to the playoffs and Ron Rivera gets fired. Is that not what some of y'all wanted? I know me personally, I would rather have it where we're winning a lot. We're 4-1 right now. Ron Rivera's job is safe, but we're winning. But you're kind of getting the best of both worlds if you ask me, because if we win enough games, we get into the playoffs, and you're going to get Ron Rivera fired. Because if this was Dan Snyder, if this was still the same regime, and Ron was 2-3 right now, but then he turned it around, okay, and he finished, let's say we finished 10-7, 9-8 or whatever, but finally we get to the playoffs, you can use that as some type of, motivation headed into the offseason, and Dan Snyder probably would have kept Ron Rivera for one more year, you know what I'm saying, to let him finish out his contract, because he signed a 5-year, remember. But since this is Josh Hurst's new group, I could very well still see us being successful, turn the season around, and he still gets fired. But the Dallas Cowboys, they play the Chargers, okay, that's a very winnable game for them. However, the Chargers could beat them. So again, like I said, y'all, this loss may have been a blessing in disguise for us, okay? Because again, it allowed us to see that Ron Rivera's not the guy. It happens so early in the season where it's not completely dead. I know it feels like it's dead, but we're not dead 100%. And 3, our schedule is very winnable. And I know it's hard because a lot of y'all just lost all faith, and I don't blame you, but our team is still talented enough to win these upcoming games. Now, it's going to be hard because the coaching is so bad, and even though you have talent, a lot of talent on this team, you can't necessarily outbeat your own coaching. You know what I'm saying? But again, I don't know if that coaching staff will ever be this bad again. At least not next week. I think we're going to beat the Falcons. I still do think that if Taylor Heineke was playing, I don't think we're going to beat the Falcons. But I think we're going to beat the Falcons. You know what I'm saying? We always go on the road, as of late, really. We always beat the Falcons as of late. And I'm hoping that this continues. Now, again, if we come back next Sunday or this Sunday coming up and we lost, all right, you got me. I have no more optimism, and I'm done. The season's done, okay? 2-4, and obviously mathematically it's not, but for me, I'm like, all right, it's over. But we come back, we beat the Falcons with 3-3. We're kind of even killed, okay? And again, like I said, I had us in a wild card phase, okay? I had us in a wild card standings. I never said we were going to win the division, never had us win the division. So even though it's not planning out how I personally wanted it to play out, it's not over, y'all. It's not over. It's just one game at a time. Okay, I understand that it still may seem, it feel like it still hurts because we lost to the Bears, but who knows? Who knows what can happen? All I can guarantee you at this moment is that we're going to continue to fight, and we're going to shake back. I really feel like that. Now again, I don't want y'all to take this video and flip it and make it seem like, oh, Juan's not mad that we lost to the Bears. He's totally fine. I am still mad that we lost to the Bears, and especially in the fashion that we lost. But what can you do about it now? All you can do is move on. What, you gonna cave in the whole rest of the season because of that one loss? You gonna cave in the rest of the season? I know some of y'all like, yeah, just tank. But we got our franchise quarterback. I'm saying that. I know a lot of y'all may not believe that, but I'm saying that. We got our franchise quarterback. So what would we be tanking for? It would be no point. So you might as well try to go ahead and win. Especially since you know Ron Rivera is going to be fired after this year. Still try to win your games. It'd be different if this loss happened in week 9, week 8, week 10. Alright, it ain't really too much time to turn the season around. It's probably done. But you got 12 games left. You rather sit through 12 more weeks of this and root for the team to lose, or think we're gonna lose, or would you rather sit through this rest of the 12 weeks rooting for the team to win and hoping that we win and looking at it, hey, we might have a chance. I know we're 2-3 right now, but we may have a chance. So that's why I say this could have potentially been a blessing in disguise, okay? Because we kind of got put out of our misery as far as like this regime still been around, because we've been questioning this regime, okay? And also, again, like I said, it's still super early. Like, we still have a ton of time to turn this thing around, and I think we will. You know, Ron Rivera is good for a heater, and I'm looking at these next 4 games like this is the perfect opportunity. Falcons, Giants, Eagles, Patriots. That's the best opportunity you're probably going to have to turn the season around. And you could potentially be looking up, and I don't want to count my wins because, again, we're the Commanders. You can't count your wins. These teams are very well looking at us like, hey, they trash. So, but you look at that, Falcons 3-3, Giants 4-3, Eagles 5-3 if you beat them. And then you go on the road and beat the Patriots, which is going to be a tough task, but you're 6-3. So your season's very well not over. And let's say you do lose to the Eagles. Let's say you do lose to the Eagles. You're 3-3, you're 4-3, you're 4-4 after you lose versus the Eagles, and you're 5-4. That's still right around where we probably should be under this coaching staff. Okay, we shouldn't be 4-1 right now. As bad as I think we like our talent-wise, I know players-wise, we had the time to be 4-1, but with how bad this coaching staff is, we're probably right where we belong. Let's keep it a buck. We're probably right where we belong with how bad this coaching staff is. It'd be different if we had a better coaching staff and we'd be like, hey, we should be 4-1 right now. But with how bad this coaching staff is, 2-3 is probably where we should be through the first 5 weeks of the season. But I'm gonna get out of here. I want to let you guys comment down below and tell me what you guys think about it. I'm very eager to hear what you have to say about my theory about the loss to the Bears potentially could have been a blessing in disguise for us. Let me know what you guys about this video in the comment section. As always, me and boy Juan Gotti. Like, comment, subscribe. Hail to the Washington Commanders. We're on the road to 7,000 subscribers. Please hit that subscribe button again if you haven't already. Thank you so much. See y'all later. Peace.